I'm gonna cover a couple ways that you can steal angle, steal measure, or steal eye alignment. And the main principle here is that I wanna get my opponent in tempo so that he's moving, and I'm gonna do my movement during his movement so he can't hit me in the middle of mine or exploit what I'm doing. A big thing that happens to people is when they go to take the angle, they'll make the mistake of just doing it while the opponent is still, and then they can get hit in the angle. Or they'll take the angle without covering the new line that it's gonna leave open. So when they take the angle, they're not kind of covering when they take it. And another mistake they can do is they go forward too much. So they're also closing range into the new angle while bringing a new target, AKA like this shoulder is now closer to his sword than before. So yeah, I'm getting this part of my body further away when I'm stepping here, but I am bringing a new part of my body closer. So one of the ways that we can get this angle safely is by feigning my opponent so he's in the middle of a movement, which will allow me to be able to make a movement that I want without worrying about him exploiting me. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do a body feint, and we're gonna kind of bring our tip forward a little bit, not committing a lot. So what this is gonna look like is I'm starting at middle weight, I'm gonna kind of squeeze my hand and bring my tip up a little bit, and I'm gonna shift to forward weight and on the balls of my feet. What happens a lot of times here is you're kind of like jump scaring someone, and they'll flinch or they'll jump back, and any of these things work. Even if he flinches, during his flinch, you can step to the side and steal measure. So what this would look like is I bring that tip up and I shift to forward weight and he retreats, and as he retreats, I am stealing that angle and I want to land at the same time or before he does. That way he can't hit me in the middle of it. So one more time, I feint, boom. Now let's cover the footwork a little bit more in depth. So when I do this, and I'm bringing my tip up a little bit, and I'm shifting to forward weight on the balls of my feet, my next step is gonna be heel toe. Because it can be a little bit harder to go on the balls of your feet and then the balls again. What'll happen is a lot of times people will like throw their weight too far forward or their center of gravity, and you don't wanna do that. You wanna keep about the same center of gravity. You're just shifting the weight in your legs to make it look like you're about to explode into your attack and presenting a little bit. So let's show that one more time. So that's simple first drill that you can do. Just simply one person feints towards the other, they retreat, and you steal that angle. Next up, you want to learn how to be ready to attack right after, because you stole the angle you want. A lot of times after you kind of jerk at your opponent, they get scared and you don't attack. A lot of times they'll throw at you, whether it's out of fear or they feel like you're vulnerable. Either or, we're going to exploit that. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna start kind of in a low guard with my dagger out to my left because I want him to attack under it towards my left side. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna feint, he's gonna retreat, I'm gonna step to the side. Now what's gonna happen is he's gonna throw under my dagger, and I'm gonna parry my dagger down, and I'm gonna attack above his dagger as he attacks. From here, what I'm gonna do, whether or not he catches my sword with his dagger, I'm gonna think about putting his sword on his dagger, clearing it over like this so I can attack again. This does several things. One, if he disengages to the inside, I'm automatically going there in order to parry him. So when he disengages, I'm bringing my sword over. Or two, if he did get the capture with the dagger, I can free my sword and get it onto his sword. A lot of times what will even happen is his dagger will end up getting put onto his sword. Now the next stage of the drill is, instead of waiting for him to attack, we're just gonna continue going into our attack. So what this looks like is I feint, he retreats, I steal that angle. Now I'm just gonna go for the attack. I'm gonna bring my dagger down to his sword and I'm gonna attack above his dagger. From here, I'm doing the same thing. If I get this shot or not, I'm bringing my swords over and following up or retreating. The next way that we're gonna cover that you can steal measure, steal angle, or any of the above is with a sword beat. This works really good if they're in a mid guard. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna beat his sword and step at the same time. The reason is because a lot of times when your sword gets beat, it's gonna take you a tempo to get it back online. So trying to attack after your sword got beat is usually not a good idea because you're gonna end up doubling. So a lot of times if they're smart, what they'll do is they'll retreat because their hand is already in tempo and you need to be safe because the hand can't parry. So we're gonna exploit this. We're gonna beat and we're gonna step to the side. Just like that. Now some people might bring their cut around, which is okay. It's gonna take a long time and you could hit them with the thrust and parry the cut. The next part of the drill is going to be very simple. You're going to beat, you're going to land, and you're going to follow up with the thrust. Keeping your sword covering that same place that their sword may come from. The final version is to attack space. A lot of times this works really well throwing the cut while moving to the eye alignment you want or the angle change that you want, because they can't attack you while you're cutting, or they're going to run into your sword. But to be safe, you want to cover that secondary line while you cut. So one way we're going to do this, we're going to start right eye alignment. We're going to throw this cut and we're going to step to the side at the same time. Whether he attacks me or retreat, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be safe because I'm covering both lanes. So what this looks like, now I have that eye alignment I want or that angle I want in order to be able to hit my opponent. And the main principle here is that I want to get my opponent in tempo so that he's moving, and I'm going to do my movement during his movement so he can't hit me in the middle of mine or exploit what I'm doing. So you can actually go pretty deep with this concept of just stealing measure or stealing angles during your opponent's movements. It really doesn't even have to be a crazy movement from a feint or anything in order to get him to do this. You can do this off simple moves like he's retreating for whatever reason. If he goes to retreat, during his step, you can gain that angle. Or if he's changing guards or bringing his tip back. Since he's not in a threatening state and he's in the middle of a movement, you can steal a movement yourself because you don't have to worry about being threatened by him as much. A really cool one that I like to do is when the opponent steps to the side, I will step forward and to the side, mirroring his step and stealing measure at the same time while still keeping my same position or eye alignment. For example, if he steps to the left, I step to the left at the same time and forward. Now I've stolen the measure I want while still keeping the angle that I wanted and not having any new holes. A really fun one that you can do from here is you will steal that range during their movement, and a lot of times you end up closer than what they thought you were going to, so they'll go to retreat, and when they retreat, you'll actually attack them in tempo. So what this looks like is he steps to the side, I step to the side and forward, he goes to retreat, and you hit him in the middle of that retreat. So one more time, he steps, I step and steal measure, and then I hit him in tempo. So let's cover a couple important little details when doing these kind of feints and things in order to get him into a movement, in order for us to steal the angle. One of the important things here, especially when you're doing the drill, is that I'm not worried about hitting my opponent. I'm simply just getting him to react so I can steal an angle, and then I'm being patient. I have the angle I want. I don't need to keep moving around or I could lose the angle. I'm simply going to kind of feint, get him in movement, take the angle I want, and now that I have it, anywhere that he goes to move, if he goes a step this way, I'm going to just simply mirror him, keeping my angle. I'm not too worried about trying to hit him. I got what I wanted, so I'm going to be patient. So you don't want to rush it. A lot of times what will happen is I'll feint, and they'll step back, and I'll steal the angle, and then I'll be patient. I have what I need. Now I'm just waiting for a good opportunity, and I'm not rushing things. It's really important that when you are essentially stealing angles or stealing measure and things during their movement, that you're not getting too caught up in always just trying to hit your opponent and just gaining what you want and being patient and not wasting more tempos and losing what you worked hard to gain.